Virtual, being something in essence or effect, though not actually or in fact. The modern definition, however, says that virtual is something that is not real, but produced by a software on a computer.
Today's video will explore the opportunities that lie within the virtual and augmented reality markets by looking into the history and development of the technology and where it is going in the future. The history of VR goes as far back as the 1930s. The ViewMaster was introduced in 1939. It was basically a stereoscope that used 3D stereoscopic photos on film. You would look through an instrument that was similar to a pair of binoculars and see full vision images of landscape or objects. Later on, the Sensorama was invented during the late 50s and the early 60s. It was considered to be the original 4D experience as it engaged the senses of sight, sound, smell, and touch. It was like a mini 4D theater where one person would sit on this arcade game-like machine and watch a short movie. The machine had odor emitters, fans, and a movable chair. Later on in 1978, researchers and technicians at MIT managed to develop what was known as the Aspen Movie Map. It was a hypermedia system that offered a simulation of the town of Aspen in Colorado. Users could wander the streets in either the summer or the winter seasons. This technology was considered to be a breakthrough development and changed the world of simulation forever. VR technology uses a gyroscope, a device that rotates about an axis and a motion sensor that is used to track head and body movements. It also uses HD screens for stereoscopic and stereo imaging, which is a technique used to enhance the illusion of depth within displays. The technology also requires small computer processors, which are then used to actually create the VR world around you. VR cameras, on the other hand, are basically 360-degree cameras, which are free to record in any direction. Until the 1990s, VR was primarily used as a form of simulation for training by organizations like NASA, by the hospitals, and by the military. But from the 90s onwards, companies like Sega, Nintendo, and Virtuality brought VR to the gaming mainstream. Fast forward to the 21st century, when in 2007 Google introduced its Street View, Sony began using VR in its PlayStation gaming consoles, and soon VR would find its way to your smartphone. In spite of all the advancements that have been made, VR still encounters many problems, like the blurring of images if you move your head too fast, low-resolution imagery, and exclusively platform-based applications. The size of the headset also makes it difficult to use for more than a few hours. However, it appears as though it is only a matter of time before the technology is perfected. So far, we've only talked about virtual reality, and we've also talked about some of the problems it still faces even today. There is another branch in this form of entertainment known as augmented reality. Now, AR is different as it only includes things within the confines of reality, while VR can include fantastical elements as well. Due to this, augmented reality, or AR, currently has a range of applications in education, in business, and architecture, and so on. Businesses like furniture shops use it to show customers how an object would look in their homes by taking a picture of their living room and digitally placing the object in there. Architects use it to see what a landscape would look like once they've made modifications to it. Engineering students use augmented reality to learn how to build things like circuits and so on. And Snapchat is a very obvious example of AR, as you can add filters and objects to your face and modify it. Now, the technology of virtual reality and augmented reality present us with massive investment opportunities. Gaming remains a sector that attracts most amount of investment, but other industries like education, healthcare, movies, and television are also catching up. A recent survey found that respondents expect the AR market to overtake the VR market within the next 3 years as they see more potential in augmented reality. The biggest obstacle to mass adoption of both the VR and AR technologies appear to be the user experience. People are concerned about the bulkiness and subsequent inconvenience of using the technology, so developers will have to focus hard on this area. The global market is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 36%, at least until the year 2026, with North America expected to be the biggest market. By 2023, the global market is expected to be worth around 95 billion, and hardware is where all the money is, because most of the revenue will come through the sale of hardware, and there's very little to do with the actual software and other elements of both the technologies that will actually present people with opportunities to make money. So hardware is basically where it's at for this whole industry. That's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you.